Hello everybody, welcome back to Hidden Harvest. Today we're going to be doing our monthly tour. Seed starting area, we've got the last of our cherry tomatoes that are probably going to go out this weekend. We have got some yucca that is probably ready to go, and my second round of cucumbers, plus one of these marshmallows that I have not found a spot for. I'll probably wind up putting it in the same spot I put the last one, but it did not in fact grow back, so I'll probably use that. And I got a couple of sunflowers that are way past needing planting out. They'll go out this weekend. I've got another cucumber right here that's past going out, but I haven't found a place to put that one yet. And another one of our cantaloupe. That one's kind of a backup in case the others fail, but the others look fine, so this one's probably going to go into the compost bin. Now, what I will show you guys is what's going on in the orchard, because I would like to do a full walkthrough of everything, and I do plan on changing a couple of things in the orchard. It may or may not be this weekend. Either way, it'll be in next month's video whenever I do that one. So we'll go ahead and show what we've got going on right now. I have got the black turkey fig. I have got 2 elderberries. I actually don't know which kind of elderberries these are. I know that they're American, but I don't know which ones. That one's a whole lot smaller than this one, but they were both planted at the same time, and I'm thinking these probably need to be moved, or better yet, I'll probably root me out a couple of them and plant them in a secondary area. Then over here, a bug flew in my eyeball. Over here I've got 1, 2, I'm not even sure if you can see it because I can't see it on the screen, 3 of our plums. We've got another 2 plums up there, that's 5 plums. Then back behind the plums, we have got a smaller mulberry bush, another fig, I'm pretty sure this is black turkey as well, the taller of our mulberry bushes, and this is one of the, this is the one I couldn't tell if you guys could actually see. But this is our plum tree, 2 apple trees, 1 pawpaw tree. It's looking very pitiful, but it's still there. And the other one got cut down because it had like a thick stalk, but it split straight down the middle during our last frost. So now pawpaw trees grow from like a, not a tuber, it's basically a rhizome, I think is what they call it. So there's a really good chance it might survive and put up shoots, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm okay with getting new pawpaws because one of them looks rather pitiful, and I did chop it down last year accidentally with the weed whacker, so it might be a good idea to replace them both either way. Anyway, now some plans that I do have for this area. Over along that side of the fence, I plan on moving my blueberries over there. Along this side of the fence, either from here to here, or here to here, I plan on putting my raspberries in. And I do want to get some grapes that I plan on putting there to there, or vice versa, I'll move them over here. I haven't quite figured out, but along this line, this fencing will eventually come out when the fencing over there is put in. When the fencing over there is put in, this fence line will likely come down in sections. We'll keep it sectioned off so that we can have the raspberries and the grape or whatever it is, but there will be thoroughfares through here, and the fence line will actually go along here. Really quick, I'm going to go ahead and grab the chicken snacks so whenever we walk by there I can give them their snacks. Okay, right here I have a future aquarium. I'm planning on getting myself some mosquito fish and raising them here. I haven't set this thing up. I'm planning on doing it this winter if I get a chance to. Then here I've got the first of my tall beds. I've got my blueberries in here. They're the ones that I want to move out into the yard. And a random potato. And sage and oregano here. I have come to find out that these are like a, I don't know, purple blue, something like that, purple blue, something, bloom, which is really, really cool looking. Here, I don't show this very often. I was actually kind of wondering whether or not it would survive, and it so far has. I'm not 100% sure. I was told that this was a jasmine, I'm still trying to wait for it to bloom up so I can get verification before I find it a home. Then here we have our asparagus. Jerusalem artichokes, which I never even thinned out, so these guys are going to be packed in here, and I'm pretty sure that thing down there is filled to the brim with Jerusalem artichokes. It is probably ridiculously thick with Jerusalem artichokes right now. In the corner here, I've got some green onions. These are the walking onions. And then right here, I've got me some garlic. And this is a mixture of soft and hard garlic. I'm not actually sure. This was all stock from the kitchen. So I just took what I had left over and put it in the ground. This is kind of not necessarily a throwaway crop. I put something here that I knew was going to come out before I would need this bed again. I actually intend to redo these beds, these ones right here, because we had a greenhouse here, and I do intend for us to put another greenhouse here, but I need to rethink this section, and this is going to be a work in progress. Across our little, I guess, sitting area now, we've got our blackberries. As you can see, we're already starting to get some little blackberries coming in. And then on the other side of it are the raspberries. The raspberries are also trying to come in, if you could see them. Now, the only issue is because this area doesn't get a whole lot of sun, and because these two are so close together, this raspberry is actually trying to run away from its home, and I need to get a better hold on these because this pathway is not going to work. So my idea is to take these and take some of the roots and move them over there and allow both of these beds to become blackberries like they're trying to be anyway. And then along here, this is the chicken coop, and this is the chicken side bed right here. I just established this one this year using some compost from the house. And we've got the marshmallow, a couple of volunteer tomatoes, no idea what type those are. We've got some butterfly weed, basil, lots of volunteer tomatoes. Pretty sure those are probably either going to be pumpkins or loofah. Probably 99% chance those are loofah. And then I've got some of the Malabar spinach in here. I've got dill, some rosella. Pretty sure those are also the same thing. Those will likely be loofahs. Some more basil. Some more volunteer tomatoes and stuff. Lots of volunteer this, that, and the others. Who knows? And then some more basil. Another rosella. Back behind that, I can see another one of these. I'm pretty sure that's also going to wind up being a loofah. Then I've got another butterfly weed, another dill, rosemary here in the corner, and another one of the marshmallows. And I'm pretty sure I skipped over it, but there is a rosemary in this corner too. Currently, the area where the old trailer is supposed to be coming down is quite a mess, but there is something cool that is going on right this second. This is probably going to wind up getting torn out later on, but in there, which back behind this is the trailer, this is the tree stump that used to be here as well. There is honeysuckle growing all through here and all on that tree right there. This is the first year I'm seeing it. I'm not sure why it spread over here, but I'm not unhappy about it. I love the smell of the honeysuckles. Into the chicken coop. Hi guys. Here we have Biddy. As you can see, her rooster remembered her. He's her number one. She's his number one. Sorry. I was just throwing food on top of her back. So he absolutely 100% remembered who she was. And I'm not even sure what to do about it anymore. Okie dokie. Now, there's been a couple of changes since last year. Not necessarily changes, but things that are happening in the garden that I don't necessarily have time to take care of. And I'm looking for better solutions. And eventually I will come up with one that I'm okay with. I thought about covering the pathways with weed fabric, the really tough kind of weed fabric, but I'm not 100% sure I want to do that just yet. I would like to find a more natural solution. I'm thinking about a chicken tractor in the pathways at some point, but I'm not 100% sure on that one either. So I'm still just taking it easy on how I'm going to handle my pathways. I've just been yanking plants every now and then to give to the chickens and stuff, so I haven't really 100% weeded the pathway at all this year. It's just something that will happen when it happens, if it happens. Just for reference, that's the orchard where we were just at. That's the actual fence line where I was talking about moving the raspberries. This is the driveway, the driver's side beds. We've got elephant garlic, walking onions. We have got, in this bed, this is the permanent flowers. The only ones that I actually know is that one is a calendula, and it's either echinacea or calendula, and that's echinacea or calendula. There are two different ones. Whichever one's which is the other one's the other one. That. And then forget-me-nots. So there's those. They look kind of pitiful. This area needs some better cover, and this one, though having a pipeline along this side, actually does not have irrigation, which needs to happen soon. It will eventually. Then we've got a few herbs here. This one is hyssop. This one is yarrow. We're fixing to get our first blooms of the yarrow for the year. And then we've got rosemary. Then right here is supposed to be the amaranth bed, sunflower bed. I have already got seeds in them, but as I said, these guys are not irrigated. And I'm also waiting for a grouping of soil to come in tomorrow, so I might actually top these beds off and reseed after I weed some of the stuff out of there, because there's weeds in it as well. But like I said, I'm kind of taking it easy with some of the beds and focusing on ones that are very, very important, like food. Then around the outside, over here is going to be like my thorny berries. This is where the fence line is going to be towards the road, and if anything, I can find more plants that are similar to these, I will be getting them. This is a goji berry, gooseberry, goji berry, and another gooseberry. One of them is a white, one of them is a red. I'm not sure which one is which. This one's obviously doing much better. But what I mean is these are thorned bushes that basically come up once a year and are basically a hedge towards the road for security reasons. So what I would like to do is find a couple more, so after the fence line goes in, I can also put some here. And on this side, which is another project that's supposed to be coming up, now that we finally started working on this area, I've started trying to smother all of these plants that are over here, which are just some random bushes and weeds and stuff like that. I'm going to put in a perennial bed right here with maybe I said the word earlier today, and now of course my brain has filed it under you said word, you don't need it. So there's a big bush that makes big flowers that are big like this, and they are dependent on the acidity of the soil. Hit me down in the comment section if you remember the name of that one. But either way, that's the one that's going to go there, hopefully, after I make this bed. But of course, this is going to take a while, and I'm probably going to move these little pieces around until I stamp out some of the stuff that's here. First two beds, which is bed 1 and bed 6, I've got potatoes. These right here are my red potatoes, or purple potatoes rather, that are, okay, I said they were red, they're actually purple, but they're called blue. Don't ask me, okay? That's what these guys are. Then these guys are our russets, plus one of those is a holdover from last year that I'm experimenting with. And in the corner, we have got ourselves some sweet alyssum. Over here is a kohlrabi that I'm trying to wait for it to go to seed. I'm not sure that we're going to get viable seed out of this. I might just wind up having to cut it out of there. We go, oh, hang on. And right here and right there are Malabar spinach. These are not even my seeds that I started this year. I didn't have to start seeds. These guys came back. They came back everywhere. I have been plucking them and leaving 2 in. As a matter of fact, there's a third one over there that's escaped me and it's gotten big. I only need 2, so I'll probably wind up taking one of those out and moving it. And then on bed 2, we have got the Roma tomatoes, and nothing currently up front. I think this is where we're going to start our sweet potatoes. It's either that or the sweet potatoes will go in the final bed. I haven't made a decision on this space just yet. Since these are aromas, they are determinate, meaning they will put on a flesh of tomatoes and then they will come out of there. So whatever is in here, I won't necessarily have to change out. I might get a short-lived plant to go here and then use this bed later on for something else in the fall time. Or for late summer, do some like black eyed peas, some bush beans of some sort. I've also got my green onions in here, which are all bolting, which is great because I've already gotten some more seeds. And I have got one last carrot in here, which I am waiting for it to go to seed. I'll be honest with you, I didn't, still haven't, and probably won't eventually look up on whether or not I need a secondary carrot in order for those to cross-pollinate in order to create viable seed. Either way, I would have left it in here, and I'll look it up later. And then over here in the corner, I've got a couple of leeks, and those guys are also starting to bolt, which is fine because I would like the seeds. As a matter of fact, I've got several that are also bolting that we'll go over there and take a look at in just a second. And then over here, I have got a bed of onions. It's not even a full bed of onions, it's just a partial bed of onions, but this is a mix of white, red, and yellow onions, just a complete mix. And then I have my cucumbers sitting here. Right here I have a place that I was going to put something, and then I decided against it. I was going to put a squash in here, a yellow squash, and I determined I probably don't need to do a yellow squash by the time it takes off. The squash vine borer will be out already, so I'm not sure what I want to plant here now. And I don't know what's going on with the cucumbers. They constantly look pitiful. I watered them today. I specifically watered them last night and watered the whole bed with the drip lines today, and they still look somewhat pitiful. And then over here, we've got our super sauce tomatoes. As you can see, they've already got their blossoms going. And then right here are some more leeks, waiting on those bad boys so I can get some seeds. I have got a mammoth leaf basil, and these are the Megatron jalapeno peppers. Oddly enough, they have already got jalapenos on here. I'm seriously considering pinching all of these off to force the plant to grow some more before it tries to make fruit. I'm thinking it's probably trying to make fruit because they are stressed. We're currently going through a drought, so they may be a bit stressed, even though they were watered. Oh, also, something I forgot and I just realized. I have got a Everglades tomato right there, and I have got a tomato here, there, two here, one there, one there, one on that trellis, and that's it. All of those are different varieties, and I've got them inside of my notebook. If I think to, I'll do an overlay on each one of them as I'm showing them, but they're all indeterminate tomatoes that will eventually kick off as soon as summer starts going in. I've only got one that I haven't planted yet, and it's because it was so slow to get started. Then number 8, we got another thing of super sauce tomatoes, also in bloom. I have got several batches of leeks. Most of them are already putting up their stuff. Another mammoth basil. And this one right here are my serranos, and then one Anaheim, because I got a package of seeds from a friend, and this is the only one that actually germinated. So it definitely got a spot. I have no idea what this one's going to taste like. I've never had an Anaheim pepper, so we'll find out. Beds 4 and 8. I have got bell peppers here, and then I have got the opal basil. These and these, let's see if I'm actually pointing at those on the screen. Those ones and the ones further back, these are a bush style. It is the bush steak, which is a determinate, but it's a beef steak style tomato. So I've got several of those. And as a matter of fact, those back there, this whole bed is a copy basically of this bed, except for a couple of things. So it's going to be the bell peppers, the beef steak, bush beef steak tomato. There we go, I said it all. And this one, I've also got a rando here, which is a broccoli that grew up during the year. I'm trying to wait for seeds from that one. All right, I've got my okra in this bed. I've got a leftover kale from last year. It's actually holding up and hasn't bolted, but I'm keeping it here until it bolts so I can get some seeds from that one. And then I do have a flower over here in the corner. It's being very piddly right now, but that's an echinacea. And of course some more leeks. And right here is a southern collard green. And as you can see, I'm also waiting on seeds right here. I just have it propped up so it's not laying across the bed like it was before. I propped it up between 3 poles and then tied it together just so I could still plant into the bed. To give those guys room that they needed, but so I wouldn't have to yank this out until it was done. And then one back, which is number 5, we've got our broccoli. As you can see, we're starting to get a lot of heads here. That one's really nice size. Then this one, just so you can get like a hand comparison here. They're actually relatively speaking, they are small heads of broccoli, but seeing as how this is my first time doing a spring broccoli, I'll be okay with whatever it is I get. And then right here on this trellis and that trellis, I have Seminole pumpkins. And like I said, this is a copy of that one, except that this one also has another kind of pumpkin. This is the butternut squash. That's a butternut squash. And on this trellis that's right in front of here, these are my cantaloupes. Right, I'm not sure if I'm pointing at them right there and right there. Now, as far as, let's see, we've got 9 and 10. Let me just do a little slow spin. 11 and 12. Right here, I have got some beets, dill, radishes. Right here, it's like a couple of lines of radishes here. And then I've got my lemon balm. Really, really good tea. Very great smell if you guys are interested in something that'll come back every single year you can make a tea out of. And it just flourishes. I really don't have to do very much to it. And then I've got some cauliflowers in this bed. And some, I don't know what that is. That actually looks like my moonflower. It's just not in the right spot, which I guess is fine. The cauliflower right here in this vacant spot is supposed to be my turmeric, or turmeric, however people say that. Turmeric is what I'm going to call it. This is where it's planted, but I don't know whether or not this will come back. So I have some inside waiting to go here if I need it to. We're just going to wait to see if it pops. This is a it needs a lot of heat in order for it to pop up. So we've got some time before we have to worry about that. It's a bit hot out here today. You wouldn't think like 2 weeks ago it dropped down to 38 at night. Whew. That is the end of the tour. I do apologize. I'm sweaty. I'm disgusting looking. I've already streamed today, but we have finished the tour.